What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and I'm going to switch this up a little bit today. I asked a client of mine, because I thought this was a good email, I asked this client of mine if I can read her long-ass email in a video, because I think it will help a lot of you out. Now, of course, I told her, she said yes, and as long as I was going to change the names to hide her identity. Of course, I was going to do that anyway. I don't want her shit getting out there, but I decided to do this because I think it's going to help a lot of women out. I'm going to read it. I'm going to stop here and there to let you know what I'm thinking. You probably see a lot of the stuff that's going on because you're seeing it from the outside view. Your heart's not in it, so it's easier to kind of see the perspective that I'm seeing. But at the same time, if you do like this and like this format, I'm going to call it the Corey Lane format because he does this a lot. Let me know. I will ask more of my clients if I could do this, because I do think this will help a lot of you out, because you're actually getting a unique scenario of the situation. Okay, and a lot of you might relate to it, and if you don't, you probably will take a lesson away. Okay, so this is a long email, so let's jump right in. 2.5 years ago, I met a guy named Billy. Switch his name up. His name's obviously not Billy. We worked for the same law firm, but in different offices, which were an hour apart. I was in a toxic marriage, and he gave the appearance of being single. The initial attraction occurred via business email, and we had so much in common that he decided to meet one-on-one on a blind date. And nothing physical occurred. So far, so good. We continued talking via email and online chat, which the entire office used for work. We had a lot of similar interests, engaging conversation, and witty banter. We definitely intellectually stimulated one another. 1 year later, actually, let me stop there. And this is probably where she was being sidetracked, right? Or where they started going different pages. I just want to tell women this real fast. Just because you're having, what did she say, engaging conversations, similar interests, and witty banter, that doesn't mean a guy likes you necessarily. It doesn't mean you're on the same page. It doesn't necessarily mean you're creating chemistry. Having fun on a date usually comes from having chemistry, right? Oh no, sorry, let me rewind that. Usually when you have chemistry, you do have fun on a date, but you can't flip that around. Just because you're having fun on a date doesn't mean you're creating chemistry. Chemistry from a woman's perspective is these kind of things, right? Engaging conversation, a lot of commonality, communication. For a guy, that's not the case all the time. Yeah, it's important, but you have to kind of reach or meet a prerequisite, which is him actually liking you, being attracted to you, and things like that. And once that happens, then the guy justifies the other reasons. Oh, not only is she a good-looking girl and she's hot as hell, but we get along great, and she has a great personality, all that. Like, you have to have those prerequisites. And what she was just demonstrating here was what a lot of women see as a bonding kind of thing, but not so much men. They think that their sexual strategies are different. A woman has to go about finding a guy who shows a lot of time, effort, energy, focus, communication, rapport, depth. She has to get a guy to thread. A guy doesn't look at that all of a sudden, okay? It's important to a guy, but he doesn't look at it the same way. So this is probably where they started going on different paths. Let me see. 1 year later, I grew extremely emotionally attached to him. Billy filled an emotional void for me, which I was lacking in my marriage. That happens. That's normal. I don't blame her on that. We all fill voids, and that's why we usually get attached to someone. Communication between Billy and I was virtually non-existent on the weekends, but during the weekday, he would converse for hours via email and text. I eventually realized he was not interested in seeing me in person. There's your first. I'll say that could be like a third red flag. Actually, the first one I would see. I won't say this is a red flag, but you guys were kind of going on different paths based on what you thought was attraction. Then him being more convenient, or more reaching out to you on convenience, which is him only reaching out during the weekdays when he's at his office. He's bored. What else am I going to do? But he doesn't reach out to you on the weekends, right? That's number 2, and this is number 3. You're obviously aware that he's not wanting to see you or contact you. And this became my sole life purpose. How could I get this guy to see me again? I felt like he understood me. I was in love. I literally spent 1 year asking him to hang out or meet. See, she's starting to get in that trap here. Here it is. He came up with every excuse. Work, out of town, brother visiting, indisposed. I felt rejected and confused. I was in an addiction. We could not stop talking to each other yet. It was going nowhere, and she really emphasized nowhere there. I almost thought he was gay. He might, or he always said he found me attractive, fun, and we had a connection. Those are just words. Look at his actions. And he liked to keep in touch because he wasn't sure what would happen in the future. And again, a bullshit line. You see where I'm getting? You see where I see things, ladies, and hopefully you see all these things from reading my guides and reading my or watching my videos. Do you see the pattern here already that he's creating? And she doesn't see it or she might see it, but she's so she has those rose-colored glasses on. She wants us to go a certain way. I would describe our relationship as a relationship, she said, as hot and cold with a lot of push and pull. The constant rejection became so traumatic for me. I quit the job. It was a blow to my self-esteem and ego. We kept in touch a few months later after I left my job, but it fizzled. I was desperate. As a last-ditch effort in August 2016, I texted him asking me to accompany me to a Broadway show. He never replied. See we went 8 weeks without communication. See what's happening here, ladies. I was emotionally invested, and he cut me out of his life. I felt used as a pastime and entertainment. I'll spare you the detail to how much I cried. I've been there, trust me. I worked on improving myself. I eventually separated with my husband too. Okay. Finally, better yet and improved, on March 1st, 2017, Billy texted me, "How are you doing?" I succumbed and answered one day later. We have been texting and emailing back and forth every day since. It's been 3 months now. Recently he applied he was sleeping with a coworker, Sally, all along, who sat 3 desks away. I was shocked. Here, Billy spent hours emailing, texting, chatting with me on a daily, weekday basis, while he was 2 feet away from a woman he was sleeping with. It felt like a betrayal. I had known he was with her, or if I had known he was with her, I would never continue to talk to him. Billy stated that Sally and him were not in a relationship. However, via stalking, hey, it happens, I know how it is. Via stalking, I know they took trips together, spent holidays together, lunch breaks, and so forth. They do not have any pictures together, though. I understood why he rejected me in all my advances. He was being satisfied elsewhere. Listen, hon, that's not why he rejected you. He never had intentions in the first place, in my opinion. And he was just, hey, he's not with this guy or with this girl. I guarantee something was going on between the two of you, or between him and her, and he reached out to you for an ego boost and things like that. Trust me, he never had intentions on dating in the first place. It hurt to know he was stringing me along, and I let him. I inquired several times if he was single in the 2 years, and he always responded with an affirmative yes. 3 weeks ago, I told him I was hurt, and that he led me on. He apologized several times, and that it was never his intention. Again, lines, bullshit. The writing was on the wall. We didn't speak for a week or so, and then he texted me saying he does not want to hurt me. You see what he's doing here? He's setting you up. I'm telling you, he's already setting you up. He's giving you lines. He doesn't want to burn that bridge just in case something between him and Sally happens. He can come back to you. He likes the attention, okay? I'm telling you. And again, the reason I know this is because of the context. Everything we were just talking about before, okay? He obviously does not want a relationship, especially if you're an hour away from each other, okay? Wanting to call his bluff and bait him, I text him to see if he would just fucking get over this morbid curiosity because who keeps in contact for 3 years without a physical relationship, but with an underlying attraction? Exactly, see? I wanted a return on my investment, even if it was just purely sexual. See, now this is the part where she says she's getting desperate. She's becoming her own worst enemy. It's an addiction. You just can't cut this stuff off. And I understand. I've been there. I could get it out of my system. He asked me for dinner. Dinner was great. We went back to his apartment, had sex, engaged in hours of pillow talk. It was perfect. I asked him if he was still seeing Sally, and he said that she was the epitome of everything he hates. And in the next sentence, he said she's the reason he's been drinking a lot. He still works alongside her. I don't know if he's seen other women. I asked him why he ghosted for 8 months. He said that he had a lot going on in his life, failed projects. Sometimes he doesn't want to talk to his friends for months. Hun, complete bullshit lines. Complete bullshit lines. Listen, if a guy truly likes a girl, he'll pull away, but if he likes her, I always think that when you become a couple or when you like each other, you're more of a team. Like that person's in your corner. That person's your coach, right? That person's part of you. They help you get through these things. If there's anyone you could talk to, I would think it would be the other person, right? Like if I was dating a girl and we've been dating for a while, I'd rather talk to her sometimes than my friends because she would understand me on a much more intimate and emotional level. We passed that. You know what I'm saying? And you said he's been talking to you for 3 years at this time. Hun, he's bullshitting you. And I guarantee with the Sally thing about her being this epitome of everything he hates and stuff like that, that's just because things aren't going well. He still likes her. He's just trying to, he's just going through a little hard time, which again was why he decided to say yes to seeing you. You see where it's going? We've been texting back and forth every other day for trivial topics. The messages are sometimes flirty but rarely sexual. He never asked me for nude pics. Last night he texted me, haha, you unbuttoned like 5 buttons here. It was an odd message. I replied being cheeky saying, I'll unbutton the rest after Sunday brunch. I do like that. It was a subtle attempt to get another date. He agreed. See, that word. That's why I always tell women you gotta be flirtatious, but of course this guy is not the right guy. I also asked him if the message was for someone else, and he responded to that. Or he never responded to that. I believe it was intended for another woman. Maybe, maybe not. Hey, he responded to your message, and you got a date. We were supposed to have Sunday brunch, and then he asked me to a Wednesday evening baseball game. He was aware that I am in the process of a divorce, but has not asked me anything about it. That's because he doesn't care, hun. Why would he bring it up? Why would a guy ask about a divorce? Because that's just basically telling you, oh, why, are you interested? So he's not going to bring it up. How I'm feeling, or ask about it, how I'm feeling about it, or whatnot. His actions are non-committal, egotistical, insecure, selfish, evasive, manipulative, narcissistic, and seems emotionally damaged from previous relationships. I could tell you he is emotionally damaged from previous relationships. I could tell you that this Sally girl probably got under his skin, and he is all these things. He's exactly all these things. He's just looking out for his own ego, looking out for himself, trying to help himself out, get back into the game. And sometimes guys, to fill a void, this is what they do. And the reason he's attacking you is because he knows he has you under his thumb and that you're desperate and that you're not going anywhere. So worst case scenario, he's like, oh, I can always go back to her. That's the problem here, huh? Okay. So am I filling a void for him or to help him get out of or to get his mind off of Sally? They ended 3 months ago. 3 months ago, still very, very current. I don't want to be used. You're being used. We've been on a date, but mentally, I feel like it's date number 40. We have so much communication. What can I say or do to gauge clarity on this situation? I'm afraid to corner him because I don't trust him. I think he'll disappear again, and I like him. That's your problem. If you're stuck in a lose-lose situation. Sorry, you're stuck in a lose-lose situation. It's either I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I don't say anything, then guess what? I can't have it. If I do say something, then he's going to hold it over my head that the fact I'll leave. I mean, he's not going to say that, of course, but he's saying I'll leave. If you try it, don't even try it, woman. You're stuck, okay? When that happens, it's obviously there's no way you can get a relationship. Now, I told her what to do. I'm not going to tell you guys. I mean, you got to get a session for that and things like that. But what would he get out of talking to me for 3 years? Sex is plentiful. He doesn't need me for that. Is there anything I could do or say to let his guard down and be real instead of playing games? Am I just a placeholder until he finds the right girl or gets back with Sally? Yes, you are, huh? I'm sad to say. And again, I say that because of the context of what's going on. You can tell. If he likes you, he would be with you. He has the opportunity. It's literally you're throwing it on his lap, and you're like, dude, I'm right here. Do you want it? If he wanted it, he would take it. It's right there. There's nothing stopping him. Okay. How do I know his intentions? We're pretty sure we know what his intentions are. He has not communicated what he wants out of us. He has not communicated it because he knows if he does, he's pretty much screwed. Like the reason he doesn't communicate it is because he doesn't want it. He doesn't want the same thing. If I wanted something with you, then I would obviously bring it up and go down that path, right? That's just common sense. But if I don't want to, it's just like if you're trying to hide something from someone. You don't want to be suspicious. You don't, like, if I stole cookies from the cookie jar, I'm not going to talk about cookies. I'm not going to go in the kitchen. I'm going to stay away from the kitchen. Just those kind of things, right? I'm going to act like I don't even like cookies. This is the same thing. He doesn't want to bring that stuff up because he doesn't want to give you any hope or go down that path. It's obviously in my opinion that he's not interested. Again, you know the stuff I told you, hon, in that email, and you say you agree 100% that it was a good. Let me see what you said actually. Because I know you said some good stuff about that email, girl. Yeah, I mean, it's the cold hard truth. But she says, "Thank you. I need to tape your email on my bedroom wall or read it every morning. It's a bitter, cold, hard truth." Yeah, I mean, it is. But listen, hon, and again, I went into detail on what was going on. You know how this guy is. A lot of you ladies watching this, you know how this guy is. Again, re-watch this video and just listen to all the signs in like the first 7 minutes I go over, 8 minutes that I go over. And you can start seeing where it was going great, right? Or so start down here. Going great, and then it just starts splitting off. You can tell what he wanted differently. So if you watch this, or if you watch this again and you read that email, you can train yourself to see patterns. It's all about patterns. Like the reason I know things I know is because of patterns. I've been on both sides. I've been the douchebag. I've been treated, this way. I read a lot of books, and I talk to women, clients all the time, all day, every day. I see the patterns. I know when something's going to happen way before it happens. So much to the point where women think I'm effing crazy. I have a lot of clients who actually get mad at me and are like, "No, it's not that kind of guy. This ain't gonna happen, blah, blah, blah." And then they come back to me later on and they say, "Oh shit, you're right. I can just see it a mile away." Not that I'm some, fortune teller, mind reader. I wish I was, but I just see the patterns, and hopefully she sees it now. I think she does. She just doesn't want to cope with or admit to it, which I don't blame her. I was the same way. You want to find out the hard way, kind of. But hopefully you all get something out of it. Hopefully you see the things that she was going through or that the guy was doing to manipulate her. It's obvious. I know you all know that he doesn't want a relationship and that Sally was a bitch to him. That kind of hurt him. He is a low ego man. But that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care. If you like this, I will do it again. I have no problem doing these if my clients let me. Not all emails, just really good ones that I think are helpful and that are a little longer that I can actually make a video out of. So with that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care. Subscribe and peace.